Hello everyone, I'm Xavier and I'm here to tell you about Echo. Echo is a new way to produce and experience music. Today I'm going to show you an Audacity project file. Audacity is a free open source cross-platform software program for recording and editing audio. You can find it at audacity.soundforge.net. In this Audacity file, we have 3 different tempos represented by click tracks. Let's take a look at an example of one of the foundations of Echo, which is fixed interval interdigitation. We'll be using these waveforms of various metronome clicks. The first tempo we have here is 76 beats per minute, the second is 91.2, and the third is 60.8. Let's take a closer look at what happens when we interdigitate these click tracks. What we see here is a pattern created by the different click tracks. And every 3.95 seconds, all 3 of the click tracks hit at the same time. The midpoint of each cycle is a manifestation of everything that happened before the midpoint. The rhythm plays forward to the midpoint and then in reverse until the cycle repeats. Let's hear it. So if we were working in audio production software and the Echo format, each of these click tracks, or what we call rails, would be the foundation for its own song. So let's say I'm working in Logic. I would have one song or folder that was based on 76 beats per minute, one song or folder that was based on 91.2 beats per minute, and one song or folder that was based on 60.8 beats per minute. And I would stack the instrumentation and vocals accordingly. And these songs would be produced simultaneously to work together and separate. So that last statement touches more on the overall goal of Echo. But we're going to get back to fixed interval interdigitation. Let's look at what happens when we import what we call the anchor rail. The anchor rail is in essence the least common multiple of all the other rails. What this does is subdivides the downbeat intervals into equal increments so that they can relate to one another pertaining to time signatures and other elements for creating your grid for creating echo music. So let's look at this anchor rail against some of our rails. So beneath the 76 beats per minute, the 912 beat per minute anchor rail subdivides 1/76th of 60, or the quotient of 60 divided by 76, into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 subparts or subnotes. So for this example, each note value is broken into 12 equal increments. What happens when we move this anchor rail down beneath 91.2 beats per minute? Well, within 91.2, the increments will occur faster. And so for this tempo, the anchor rail will subdivide each defining interval of 91.2 beats per minute into
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal parts or increments.
And going down yet again to the 60.8 beats per minute, the anchor rail is going to divide the 60.8 beats per minute into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 equal parts or increments. And so what I've just described to you is the grid that would be created for reference and for your quantizing. And it can be further broken down into smaller increments, but the ratios here are 10, 12, and 15 respectively to these multiple tempos that are the basis for our multiple songs. So let's explore a little bit more and listen to these click tracks together and separately.
So the swing that occurs by these tempos that are running away from and catching back up to each other, we are creating just simply using these formulas.
These formulas are based on an algorithm that creates the millions of possibilities for the tempo interdigitations. Now, let's bring in 1/2 of the anchor rail, which is 456 beats per minute, and juxtapose it against the other tempos. And let's listen in and out of each track and see what happens when we take this grid and explore it. It basically creates more complex rhythms. So just by exporting these numbers, we have the foundation for creating various types of beats and rhythms based upon what tempos we are using. Again, this is just the foundation of the logic of fixed interval interdigitation that allows us to set up the grid for the songs we are going to produce in our audio production software. This logic is one solution that allows us to work in multiple tempos and on multiple songs simultaneously, and with using various software plugins that will allow us to export multiple songs at different tempos so that we can play them together and separately with metrical coherency.